we did a video and a podcast about real estate prices a couple of months ago, and it was one of the most widely watched one. And we asked, are home buyers overpaying right now? And does it look like that might be happening because money's cheap and everyone's piling into real estate and buying over listing and all that? Do you think that's possible, Kelly, that people might be overpaying a little bit here?
I think that the answer to that question is depending on what the margin is. Are they overpaying based on what prices have been? Yeah, they're overpaying based on what prices have been. But that's your, again, basic supply and demand, right? If you have, right. There was a massive demand created, right, during COVID. And that was, I'd say the number one thing was space. And then on top of space was your lifestyle, right? So this past year, what really changed and I think opened a lot of people's eyes was, if I'm going to upgrade, resell and upgrade, or if I'm going to buy because my rental situation is too small, I need to make sure that I've got enough space for it. And so that created a lot of demand. And then you also had people kind of reanalyzing their life and their lifestyle and where they're living and moving. I read an article recently that San Diego, Denver, and Phoenix were the hottest cities for the residential market over this past year. I wouldn't have said that because I know so many Chicagoans that took off for Florida. It's not even funny, right? When we all know the incentives financially living in Florida. So that market, Florida has bubbled before, right? There's been other U.S. markets that have bubbled. And unfortunately, the interest rates kind of being so low kind of feed into that ability to bubble and name your price. But I think just as important, Brian, as the interest rate conversation for mortgage and finance is the appraisal conversation. If you ask any mortgage lender out there what the most challenging part of lending during the pandemic has been, it's been the appraisal process for a couple of different reasons. Number one, during the height of the pandemic, who wanted to let a complete stranger in their home to snap a couple photos, right? That was a challenge. Freddie and Fannie, the secondary market out there, came out and started giving waivers. So that's pretty risky. You could actually not only refinance, but you could buy a house without even having it appraised. And that only really happens in really stable, that very stable rising real estate environment. And so appraisers were losing money because banks weren't paying them as much to do what's typically a robust refi boom. Appraisers make a ton of money, right? Banks make a ton of money. They felt, deprived a little bit. And then you get this robust spring market that ultimately tells these appraisers, we're on fire right now, and I need you to do this and that like yesterday. And there's no control. I mean, the prices have gone way up there. So things have gotten competitive with rates, but the cost of doing business has risen because of the lack of individuals and time to be able to get everything done.